Friends of Korea is a campaign initiated by the Culture Ministry here that aims to advance accurate awareness about Korea through the efforts and interests of ordinary individuals in different corners of the globe. We have details on this edition of Issues and Insiders. Hello and welcome to Issues and Insiders for this Wednesday, August 28th here in South Korea. I'm Min Sunhee. Today we meet with two participants of the program Friends of Korea that hopes to promote an accurate understanding of the country, its culture and more. For this, I have Kim Eunha, a member of the 17th class of Friends of Korea. Eunha, it's good to have you with us.
Nice to meet you too.
I also have Muizat Ayoola Abioye, also a member of the 17th class of Friends of Korea. Muizat, it's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to be here too.
Eunha, let's start with you then. Let's begin with an introduction about the program Friends of Korea and its participants. Eunha.
Yes, Friends of Korea is a private delegation that strives to correcting inaccuracies about Korea abroad and promoting more accurate understanding of the country. It was launched in 2013 and the official name Friends of Korea was adopted in 2018. The organization aims to enhance Korea's positive national image by disseminating correct information and promoting the Facts Korea service. Facts Korea is a service run by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism to efficiently correct misinformation about Korea. It systematically manages and addresses error reports from overseas. So the 17th Friends of Korea consists of 35 Koreans and foreigners living in 9 different countries, and our activities will continue until December. So this year, we will be focusing on ensuring the spread of accurate information in global online dictionaries, as well as investigating international perceptions of Korea and the accuracy of related information.
Right, and before we delve further into that, Muizat, tell us a bit about your reasons for partaking in this program.
Yes, so as a political science student studying in the United States, I think I'm very fascinated and intrigued by how government agencies like the Facts About Korea and how they interact with the foreign presses. So I wanted to be part of this interaction. I wanted to be able to fact check information of Korea due to my long-term interest in the Korean culture, and also just kind of deepen my understanding and have a more nuanced cultural perspective in the Korean culture, and also be able to promote Korean culture both to foreigners abroad and those in Korea.
Muizat, tell us a bit about what prompted your interest in Korean culture.
Well, so it first started like most Nigerians, like myself. I've lived in Nigeria for a very long time, and we all got to know about Korea through Korean dramas, and then I just wanted to I just wanted to be able to not rely on subtitles and be able to speak understand the language. But my desire to not rely on subtitles grew into something more deeper into, I wanted to know more about the Korean society. I wanted to immerse myself and basically form an understanding of what the culture actually is. And I think I've been able to do so for the past couple of years. And my experience had provided me with a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun times, yes.
Right, Muizat, this is an impromptu question as well. How did you learn about the program, though?
Oh, so yeah, I actually saw it on an Instagram website. I saw it on an Instagram post about you have to be able to speak Korean in order to participate in the program. So I was very intimidated by that, but I decided to give in my best despite that requirement, because I thought that, I have learned Korean for a very long time, and I think I'm able to put in what I think is right about errors.
Right. And Eunha, what was behind your decision to join the program?
Well, when I was in high school, I had the opportunity to teach Korean songs to a group of French students who visited our school. And this experience left a lasting impression on me, as it was the first time I had the chance to like directly share our country's culture with international friends. So this time I wanted to have an experience of going abroad and sharing the authentic aspects of Korean culture with people from other countries. And by good fortune, I was selected to be an exchange student in France next semester. So I'll have many opportunities to engage with foreign friends. So I wanted to join this program and introduce like Korean culture to foreign friends in a more structured way and address any misconceptions they might have through various activities organized by Friends of Korea. And additionally, as a student who is aspiring to work in the cultural industry, I wanted to understand Korean culture on a deeper level and share it with foreign friends, which aligns perfectly with the goals of Friends of Korea. And for these reasons, I knew that applying to this program would be a right choice.
Right. And Eunha, this is an impromptu question for you as well. Now, Muizat has told us that one of the requirements of being selected for this program is an understanding of the Korean language itself, of course. Apart from that requirement, what are perhaps some of the other requirements needed to join this particular program?
Well, of course.
Is there an age limit, for example?
There's no age limit, and people who are above like 19 years old everyone can join this program. So there are people like on the over 40. So it is available for everyone.
Right, so it's not just students then, because it seemed like both you and Muizat are students. I assumed naturally that you needed to be a student in order to partake in the program. Right, Muizat, now do share with us some more details about the work that is done by Friends of Korea.
Yeah, so the primary obligation of Friends of Korea is basically to fact check information from like foreign media resources and like basically to make reports about this inaccuracies and errors that we find. Go to the website. There's a place whereby you can actually select what type of content this is. Is it a print? Is it a video? Is it from a website? And then you can then print out a report of what the error contains and what you can encounter. So basically, and after that, then you can actually submit it on the website. So you also have to provide a very detailed explanation on what exactly the error is, where you found the error, and that is what it entails and how to submit the error. So that was one of the primary obligations. And one of the second obligation is also to promote cultural activities within Korea and also abroad. So we try to do that by explaining about what facts about Korea is to people, and also to like engage in like cultural questions like quiz challenges to people and things like that to kind of like deepen people's more understanding of what Korean culture is.
Muizat, with regard to this particular program, is there perhaps a guideline or a framework of guidelines that let you know what is right and what is wrong about Korea?
Yes. So we do have a certain guidelines that we follow to know what specific things are like the errors. So basically, they are divided into three aspects, which is like logical, factual errors. Basically, this is what is right and this is what is wrong. It's a fact. So there's a second aspect, which is basically on an exaggeration of a Korean culture, like basically something that can impact Korean society negatively. That is also considered as an error. And the third thing is like historical understanding of what like Korean culture is, and if something that's not historically inaccurate, it can also serve as an error, in which way that's how we base our errors on. And also it has to be within 2 months. The error has to be within 2 months so that it can be very recent and be able to be corrected. Yeah.
Right, I see. That being said, Eunha, what have been some of the more significant contributions by Friends of Korea over the past years?
Well, since 2013, Friends of Korea has made significant contributions to correcting misinformation and promoting Korean culture globally. So the 16th Friends of Korea selected in March identified and reported 242 instances of information errors about Korea. They successfully corrected various inaccuracies, such as confusing the traditional Korean sport of taekwondo with the Japanese martial art of karate, and misrepresenting the traditional Korean clothing hanbok as a type of kimono. And in addition to their efforts in correcting errors, Friends of Korea have undertaken over 300 public relations activities aimed at promoting Korean culture and the Facts Korea service internationally. And they also have received specialized training on aspects of Korean culture, such as Hanok and Hanji, to enhance their ability to detect and address cultural inaccuracies. So as a result of these training programs, 635 honorary reporters have successfully identified more than 11,000 instances of misinformation about Korea over the past 12 years.
And staying with the misinformation about Korea, Muizat, again, this is an impromptu question. Among the inaccuracies that you've come across with regard to Korea, is there one that stayed with you, that stayed in your memory?
I think addressing the Korean hanbok, which is the Korean traditional like clothing as a kimono, is something that is just very like I find that very funny, and just I don't understand how that can be misinterpreted. But like I think that really stuck out to me when I was like checking out the inaccuracies. But so far, I still have a lot of errors which I'm yet to encounter.
Right, I see. Muizat, what do you believe perhaps is the importance of participation by foreign friends of Korea like yourself in this particular program?
So I think this program is very crucial to many foreign participants due to like the growing globalization of K-pop and Korean culture, and many people recognizing the importance of Korean culture. So I think my perspective as a foreigner who is involved in this fact-checking information is that I can offer like a unique insight into basically understanding Korea from a foreign perspective, and also providing from my own background as a Nigerian student studying in the United States, I can provide unique insights in whereby I can identify more errors in places that have not been able to be identified before, and also to kind of deepen my own understanding of what the Korean society is, and also, I guess, be able to resonate with more international audiences.
Right. Eunha, do you suppose the growing popularity of K-culture on the international stage makes the work of Friends of Korea all the more important?
Yes, I believe that as interest in K-culture continues to grow globally, the work of honorary reporters becomes even more essential. With the rise in global interest comes the rapid spread of misinformation about Korea. So, for example, while K-pop has gained immense popularity worldwide, there have been some articles where it has been mischaracterized, with some articles portraying the rigorous training that begins in adolescence as exploitation of youth. So if overseas media spreads misinformation or uses incorrect expression to describe K-culture, it could have negative effects on the nation's image. Korea's cultural industries not only serve as global ambassadors of the country, but also play a significant economic role. So therefore, it is important that Friends of Korea continues its efforts to ensure that misinformation about K-culture does not undermine the positive image of Korea that has been formed around the world.
Right. And staying with K-culture, Muizat, what can you tell us about the reason, perhaps, behind the popularity of Korean culture, including its music, movies, and dramas in Nigeria?
I think that's a very interesting question, because that's also something I'm very curious myself too. I think in some ways, Korean culture has a little bit of similarities between my culture, and also like I think that's why most people are very intrigued by it. and people are like interested in how like the food and what they and how like Koreans act in the movies and all like things stuff like that. But I think most importantly, there are these similarities which I can pinpoint to, such as like the whole cultural like new context, and also there are just so many things that I find intriguing personally, and I think most people as well in Nigeria also recognize this aspect.
Would you say access to Korean culture in Nigeria is quite convenient? Is it easy to access Korean culture there? Korean language classes, for example?
Yes. So we do have a few resources. I think there's a Korean Cultural Center located in Abuja, Nigeria, whereby they hold actual language classes. And even without that, like there's just I think a plethora of resources that many people can use online, despite I guess very limited resources in Nigeria. So still without that, there are many growing initiatives day by day on how many on like constant like interaction and attraction towards Korean culture. So
Right.
yeah.
Una, this is an impromptu question for you. Speaking as a Korean, I'd like your personal take on this, of course. Now, some claim that in recent years, quite a number of Korean plot lines for dramas and movies have shifted more toward the Hollywood style of violence, brutality, aggression, etc., instead of the more universal themes or Korean themes, perhaps of family, and as Muizat talked about, eating, like mukbang. What are your thoughts regarding this? Do you think we're shifting too much towards these Hollywood kind plot lines of violence and brutality?
Yes, I think it is shifting a little bit, but I think that is a natural change. Just we cannot just have our own culture. So I think shifting to a Hollywood style can be just natural change that can happen in Korea's culture too.
Right, and then staying with that, Muizat, speaking as perhaps a foreigner interested in the Korean culture then, what image do you suppose do Korean screen productions share about the country and its people?
Yeah.
That's a tough
Yeah, that
question.
is a very interesting question, which I'm very interested in answering. I think there's a variety of I guess perspectives and things that what Korean movies try to portray. Sometimes it's trying to portray how Korean society is. Sometimes it's trying to portray how like the cultural context and how like certain aspects of Korean culture are. I think I want to elaborate more on what these are. I think for the Korean culture, there's for instance, they can portray like how workplace is, the workplace environment, and how people interact in the workplace. I think that is something I'm very interested in, and also like true crimes, and like the Korean, I guess when talking about societal issues as well. There's so many varieties in what like the Korean media always tries to portray. So it's hard to pinpoint in one exact point or one exact theme to focus on, but yeah, there's just a variety of stuff that I can think of.
Right, indeed, I see. Right, then finally, Muizat, what are your plans for the rest of this year as a friend of Korea?
Yes. So for the remainder of this year, I plan to focus on creating content that highlights like the similarities and differences between like, Korean and English, the United States and also Nigerian culture, and also to bring kind of like a unique perspective, also to promote cultural activities both in my campus and my college campus, and also enable people to know more about what facts about Korea is and how they can themselves also correct errors, and also know more about the Korean culture itself. And also I plan to collaborate with my honorary reporters and like my team members to more like to analyze and do reports on like foreign media sources that actually produce like Korea related information, and see what are the reactions, how do people respond to them, and basically just get a an overview of how people perceive these media sources, and also to just help generally more Korean understanding
Right.
and of fact-checking information. Yes.
Una, what about you? What are your hopes in line with your work as a friend of Korea this year?
Well, as an honorary reporter living abroad, one of my primary goals is to share Korean culture with as many foreign friends as possible. So I'm planning to introduce not only the latest trends in like K-pop, K-drama, and K-food, but also aspects of traditional Korean culture and history that may be less familiar to those outside of Korea. And additionally, as a student who is studying journalism, I also plan to keep an eye out for misinformation about Korea that is being spread in foreign media. So, well, through my experience in reporting errors, I realized that there are so many articles left that contain misleading information about Korea's culture and history. So my aim is to report as many inaccuracies as possible, and I hope to see these errors corrected by the end of the year through my efforts.
Right. Well, best of luck in your endeavors. Una, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts today. And Muizat, thank you very much for your insights, and thank you for taking my impromptu questions. Right, well, that is all the time we have for this edition of Issues and Insiders. We return same time tomorrow to talk about the latest outbreak of Mpox. Do join us then.